Hi, everybody. This is welcome to the best session of the afternoon. So the reason I say that is because it's your last, right? I don't know. Is this the last one anyway? Anyway, well, welcome. We're glad to have you. I am Marsha Frisbee. I'm the category manager for fruits and vegetables for Gordon Food Service US. In case we haven't met yet, I was trying to meet everybody. And with me today I have a great team. So Rich Ramos, yes, and Tiara and Grant. And Tiara and Grant are from our primary RSS Markon fresh cut fruit with Sunrich. And so they have graciously volunteered to be kind of our category captain and trainer as we have developed a new module for the upcoming level 3 training. So I don't know if y'all heard from, somebody from Texas told me I gotta say all y'all when there's more than 3. So I don't know if all y'all have talked about it in your last sessions, but you know, your level 1 training and your level 2 that you took online before you came here. Now what you're getting in these 4 sessions is the live version, secret for you, of the next level, level 3 that's coming out. And where you started in level 1 was the Markon basic, what you need to know if you're a new sales rep with your organization, right? Food safety and our Markon brands and how our program differentiates from the competitor. Level 2 really got you into more specific product training, right? And a little bit deeper into your knowledge base and to be able to help the customer. And we're finishing that deeper product training in these 4 sessions today by making sure that we've covered our bases on plot. What's plot? Oh, you guys did? You did great on your testing. Potatoes, lettuce, onion, and tomato. Potatoes, lettuce, onion, tomato. Did I say fresh cut fruit in there anywhere? No, I didn't. So what? So plot. So plot. Why we're focused on that on our online training? That's about 80% of your menu, right? So if you can understand how to sell the customer and help your customer with solutions for 80% of their menu, you're more than likely their primary produce provider, right? But there's this, what I'm going to call a little sleeper category over here called fresh cut fruit. And why it's a sleeper is it's a very large pie of opportunity, I'm going to call it. So the food service fresh cut is 1.7 million pounds. And this green right here is the area I want to focus on. 32% is still being cut on premise in the back of the house. Okay? So you guys, as being educated like you are, you're already thinking of, right, how our RSS can help them. The most obvious that comes to people's mind is yield, right? So the ready, set, serve, basic ready, set, serve, 100% yield, right? And the fruit that you're cutting obviously is not. So that yield on a honeydew is 69%. So already we understand that the customer's throwing a lot away if 32% is still cutting on premise, okay? So to get a little deeper into helping make sure that you can have that conversation and be good consultants to our customer about great opportunities, I'm going to turn it over to Grant and Tiara.
So obviously it is a big opportunity with still 32% cut on premise to sell the RSS fresh cut fruit. These are the 5 kind of product attribute categories that we focus on when we're trying to sell ready, set, serve into customers that are still cutting their own product. Number 1 is food safety. That is the biggest advantage, avoiding all contamination. We wash it when we get it. We wash it after we cut it. We pack it. It's sealed. There's no risk of contamination when they're cutting it in the back of the house. Obviously, there's all kinds of risks of cross-contamination, not washing things properly. It's a big risk for customers, and we take care of all that risk for them. The second thing, what is employee safety? Reducing cutting injuries, taking a knife out of employees' hands, obviously reduces the amount of injuries. ER visits are a big cost. The cost of insurance is a big deal for operators, so we can reduce those worries. Labor, the cost of labor is going up everywhere, every market. Labor is increasing, the cost is increasing, and operators are looking for ways to reduce that labor. This product is ready to use, there's no prep, 100% yield, it's ready to go. Waste, there's zero waste, it's consistent yield, they can lock in the price of their product. It's going to be the same amount of product every time, it's not going to vary based on who's cutting it or what the size or anything like that is on a raw material. And then it utilizes less space, it comes in a square pail. You can stack it, you can put it in your cooler, it doesn't take up as much space as a whole case of cantaloupe or a whole case of pineapple. So those are the main categories, those are the big advantages we have over on-site cutting. The other thing that we like to touch on is our fruit mix, our fruit ratio. It's always the same amount of fruit in every pail. So let's just say in a fruit salad, the price of pineapple shoots up for a month or so. We still keep that same ratio. We don't take the pineapple out and increase the cantaloupe or something like that. They're always going to get the same product every time, regardless of what's going on with the commodity in the market.
So now we'd be looking for 2 volunteers to help us with a little activity.
It's a cutting, so we're going to do a kind of a live cutting here. Whoever wants to get out there and cut some pineapple.
Yeah, you got it. There you
Hey!
go. Hey! All right.
We're gonna find out. Yeah.
So we've got all the supplies up here to cut the pineapple. We're looking for a 1-inch cut, so a chunk. That's the end product we're looking for. Okay.
The whole thing, or just?
Yeah, the whole pineapple. As much product as you can get out. Wow, look at that.
Wow.
So you got about 5 minutes to complete it, and we're going to continue with the presentation while you're going.
So what we have here is our sourcing map. So we aim to
So
provide
come
consistent,
one way.
high-quality fruit 365 days a year. What we like to say is that we provide you the best raw material product before we process by following the sun. You can see here, available to you in your future training online, exactly where we source all of our fruits, by varietal and where they come from. So we also have 100% traceability to all of our farms and co-ops, and they all follow our strict audit requirements in order to be able to do business with us.
Yeah, another part that I'd like to touch on here is our raw material specs. We have a very high standard on the raw materials we'll bring into our facility to cut. So that's the size of the material, that's the bricks level of the material, that's the color of the material. When we receive a load of, let's say, pineapple or apples, it has to meet that high spec, or we reject the entire load. So regardless of where that product's coming from, it always has to meet that same spec. That's how we get the same consistent product out all the time. And when we talk about how can you use fresh cut fruit, what are the applications, how can it be used in a restaurant, how can it be used on a menu, we like to say it can be consumed in all day parts. Every part of the day you can use fresh cut fruit. In the morning you can have it as a side, you can put it in a parfait. For lunch you can add it to an entree salad. We like to see the mangoes and the oranges go on the entree salads, you get a little more, charge a little bit more for it, get a little more profit. We have the grab and go options that go with the kids' meals, or if they're like a, a hospital or something like that that has grab and go items that they want to take back with them. And then with dinner, you can, and a cocktail, you can grill it up and put it on a burger. There's applications in every segment of every food service operation.
The trend toward natural and fresh. So how many of your operators have asked you, is this product natural? Yeah. And I'm sure they ask you how long it takes the product to get to them because there's a concern with it being fresh, right? So this is some survey information when asking consumers, how often do you consume the following types of food? And we really want to point out the increase of 6% from 2010 to 2014 of the emphasis on natural. And we all know that from 2014 until now, that's only grown. 44 to 50% said that they consume something that they deem to be natural at least once or more per week. Also, the top and fastest growing health claims. So the top 500 full-service restaurants and the incidence growth. So 55%, 55.2% more times has it been noted that this is a natural product because operators are seeing that that matters to their consumers, and it matters for us to be able to provide that to them. No person.
Now was that the presentation?
I cut my finger.
So these are the 3 categories of fresh cut fruit that we offer through Markon. There's a no preservative wet pack. So that's a product that's packed in water with sugar, but there are no artificial preservatives in the product. So you're still getting an 18-day shelf life. It's very clean. It's a very high quality product. It mimics people cutting in the back of the house very well. The end operator is not going to notice the difference between this product and somebody cutting it in the back of the house. It has some packaging differences. It comes in a square pail, and there's no bag in there, and it has a built-in strainer.
It's a good pineapple.
Are you guys okay? The other option is the preservative product. So that comes in a round pail. It has a bag in there. It has a tie. They have to unpeel it. They have to roll it back. There's artificial preservatives in it. There's sodium benzoate. There's ascorbic acid. And there is a taste difference between the preservative and the no preservative. So the no preservative is definitely more on trend with what Chiara was talking about. The third option is the dry pack. So in a traditional dry pack, you need about an 8-day shelf life. And then with the apples, you get a 21-day shelf life. We do a vitamin C wash on it that gives it a little bit of a longer shelf life, but traditional dry pack's about 8 days. So there's shelf life differences and there's taste differences.
So should we take a break right here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Over the food you
Yeah.
Before we get into the spec that we have for our facility, I want to say thank you to our volunteers.
Hire. Anybody? Anybody?
I believe this is what you say, don't put money.
Can I tell him instead? We thought our last training session, provided some unique examples of pineapple cutting, but I think this one took the cake.
Yeah, I'll talk about it.
So when we are checking fruit in our facility, the first thing that we check for when the product comes in is the bricks level, the color, making sure that the size fits our spec. We do use some machinery to get a quick peel. But then beyond that, once it's cut, we check for cut size, making sure that there's no skin left on, and then also just making sure that our employees observe the procedures that we have in place to make sure that food safety is top of mind. So we can start where we, did anybody notice anything at the beginning that did not happen?
Gloves.
How about for the actual fruit?
What about
Washing fruit.
didn't wash the
Yeah,
fruit?
wash
Good
the
job.
fruit. There's no gloves, there's no aprons. He's wearing a uniform.
He was eating over the cutting board.
Nobody's hearing this.
No aprons. There was a guy eating on the cutting
No
board. So this actually is a perfect example of why everyone should be selling RSS.
Can this really happen?
Yeah.
In the back room, right?
Yeah, there's some real issues there too. You guys left a lot of meat on the bone.
Great.
Good
Good
job.
job. Let's go along with the pineapple.
Yeah. Quality assurance.
That's right.
The other piece we like to touch on here is there's always 75% fruit in our wet pack. So just so you know, that's higher than the industry standard. When you go up against most of your competitors, they're not going to have 75% fruit. So we suggest you do drain weight tests whenever possible if you come against some competitive product in the market. Basically, you just weigh it, drain the water out, and weigh it again to show how much fruit is in the product.
So some of the operator pain touch points, we've spoken a lot about food safety, but it can't be emphasized enough. As much as we care about it, it's also a very strong sticking point for the operators. Their biggest concern by far, is the risk of cross-contamination. So again, not to dwell on what happened here, but let's think about, let's just cutting one pineapple, where in kitchens, you might have somebody cutting pineapple, then slicing meat, then who knows what. Not to mention if someone actually took a bite in the back of the kitchen and then went back to cutting something. So the other thing that we dwell on is our procedures in our facility. We cut absolutely no corners with making sure that we increase the quality control and minimize the risk. And so with that, you've seen some increase to the requirements and costs, but that is just to make sure that we are getting the absolute safest product out of the door.
The other operator pain that we touched on was employee safety risks and the rising costs. Cost of incidents is a big deal. It will cut into the profits of your operators. And our products make the kitchen safer. So we reduce the use of sharp knives. Curing fruit is actually a risk. You know, it can hurt people's backs. Some of those products are pretty heavy, the raw materials. And then waste disposal. There's a lot of waste when you're cutting a piece of fruit. If you're making a lot of fruit salads or something of that nature, you need a lot of space to dispose of all that waste. So it's actually a concern of a lot of operators. So you just have one pail, you stick it in your cooler, and you're ready to go, and you avoid all these concerns.
And the rising kitchen labor costs, so we're seeing continually states across the country that are looking to raise the cost of their minimum wage, and it's growing double digits. And as the labor rises, the cost of cut and prep does as well. Fresh cut fruit products reduces hours spent cutting. So we saw here how long it was?
4 minutes and 51.
So pretty close to 5 minutes. And think about what somebody could do in the kitchen in 5 minutes. We get the feedback quite a bit. Oh, you know, well, I have a chef who's really good at cutting fruit, but chances are he's really good at cutting fruit. He's really good at doing something else that is a better use of his time. And then if you have somebody who's not as experienced cutting a pineapple, it can probably take 2 to 3 times as long as a trained chef. So just thinking about all of the side work or other things that need to happen in the back of the kitchen.
And then just want to touch base on point number 4 for operator pain, quality and yield. Of course, this is basically like 101 RSS, right? You could sell this, you could sell ready set serve, shredded lettuce and iceberg and avocado pulp. But basically, it's, again, Markon's tight specifications, Sunridge's tight specifications. We partnered with high quality cut size and then minimize yield loss. But also on this last point, menu price. As you know, we've had transitions with a lot of items. Prices go up, prices go down on the commodities. So if you go into a kitchen in the back of the house and they have a lot of fruit that they're going to cut themselves, let's watch that market. No market fluctuations in this. We just transitioned from grapefruit from Rio to Ruby. You didn't feel it in the cut fruit. You felt it in the market when it did. So we let you know when we do transition, but the market's going to change on the ready set serve. Again, the yield, one more time, waste 50% is what we're saying on average, is what your waste cutting your own versus 100%. And then the efficiency in storage. So they've got those big old friggin' boxes of watermelon. And first of all, you go in there and you see tomatoes and take them out of the walk in. Then talk about the space here. I mean, from the tub to that preservative free, if you want to switch over, it's just 3 days less shelf life. But just in perspective, an 18-day shelf life preservative free versus a shredded iceberg or a chopped iceberg at 16 days versus a chopped banana at 14 days. So it's more shelf life on the cut fruit than our salads right now. So if you switch it from the pail to that nice square that always has the screen already in, it's a great selling point as well. And then let's do a summary video.
There may be a few questions on this later.
Fresh fruit. More and more of your consumers want it, and you want to serve it. Even when your staff's working their hardest, it takes a lot of time to cut all that produce. Labor costs start to add up, and the end result of their efforts is not always appealing or acceptable. A lot goes here, and there are numerous safety risks and concerns. Or you could get Markon Ready Set Serve fresh cut fruit and forget all that. Markon Ready Set Serve fresh cut fruit is exactly what your customers want. Great looking, great tasting, healthy, natural fruit with a no preservative option that lasts 18 days and lasts at least twice as long as premise cut. And if you need a lot of it and often, with 4 strategically located fresh facilities, we can provide high quality, consistent fruit quickly all year long. So you rest easy knowing you always have fresh cut fruit for your consumers. But it's not just about what our fruit does for them. It's what it'll do for you. No more cross-contamination worries. No more safety issues. The opportunity to reduce costly labor hours. No more inconsistency. No more waste. That's the real savings. That's Markon Ready Set Serve fresh cut fruit.
Nailed it.
Okay, so did you see that little fun fact up there about how long does it take to cut 14 pounds of fresh cut fruit? 30 to 40 minutes. What can your customer be doing with 30 to 40 minutes that could be a bigger value to them than things that are a food safety potential risk and cross-contamination and a lot of waste, right? Those types of things. So how to get started in opening up the conversation with the customer? How would somebody get started? Any thoughts? What's your lead-in of this category to your customer, Mark?
Oh, possibly there's a high price on a commodity, might trigger that.
That's a great example. I think we're experiencing that a little bit with the avocado market, right? An opportunity to go in with an RSS. So let's say the market is high on that. Give me the first product you're gonna talk about.
I'd probably come back and say, have you ever considered using a fresh cut fruit salad perhaps?
The fruit salad, right? So make it simple. Start by discussing one code, the mixed salad. Pick your size, 8 pound, 14 pound, whatever size is good for them. But if you don't know where to start with the highest volume, most popular item, right, in our Markon portfolio. Start talking about that one item. You remember that Grant said it's good on which parts of the menu? All of them. So if you think that this isn't for your customer, I would encourage you to reconsider that. And I would even tell you where you've got that customer that is fully committed to on-premise cutting, could this product still serve a purpose for them? Are they ever like seasonally more busy than other times? Do they ever all of a sudden have an event going on, right? This is that sleeper category that I talked about where we really had the opportunity to capture some of that large pie of 32% of customers that are cutting on premise, and how can our Markon RSS really be providing them that value, okay? So with that, we'd like to open it up for any questions.
It's gonna catch on fire, Jerry, don't
Is that thing?
I think it's
the microphone.
Oh dear,
Speaker.
okay.
So, the first products that went out for sandwich were the ones with preservative, right? That was kind of the original.
Yes.
Because I do remember, long time ago, we used to trust their customers, that stuff you could taste the preservatives. So
Yes.
they've gone to water pack, and has there been any, the first thing that came to mind, to shoot it out, was leaching the sugar out of the flavor out of the fruit that's in there, putting it in water.
That's a great question, Mike. Yes.
How do you work on
So we actually add sugar to the water, but it's not more sugar than that's more sugar than what's in the fruit. So we raise the sugar to the Brix level of the fruit to kind of trick the fruit into thinking that it hasn't been cut, right? So there's no sugar that leaves the fruit, there's no sugar that goes into the fruit, which is how we keep a pineapple tasting like a pineapple.
So how many people, and that's a great point, Mike, because how many people, does your customer remember that Mike talked about? Right? Okay, so if you learned anything out in the fields, on your field tours, what is happening in the industry? Technology, right? And the understanding of how to improve flavor and products, and how to make things more efficient and increase shelf life through the right packaging, right? You saw it with your own eyes the last couple of days, and this category is no different. And partners like Sunrich have really invested in making sure that the delivery of the product is a great tasting product, right? So try it again, right? And with the various options between preservative-free, with preservative, or dry pack, you do have a fresh cut fruit option for every customer that could help them potentially with some of those operator pain points that the team talked about.
What kind of sugars induced into the water?
So it's actually pure cane sugar. So some of our competitors will use other sweeteners and different types of natural preservatives, but ours is pure cane sugar.
So does the addition of cane sugar mean that it precludes it from like diabetic diets and things like that where nutritionals are going to come into play? Because now you've got
So-
glucose competing with sucrose?
So, yes, so the biggest piece of feedback we get when we're talking to customers is, oh, I'm diabetic, I can't have too much fruit, but it's the same, our fruit has the same nutritional value as the fruit if you were to cut it yourself. So if there is feedback, it's because that person, it's the actual fruit itself, it's not because of the water.
Yeah, we don't change the sugar content. The
Yeah.
sugar content is still the same.
I drink the water, it's good.
So
That's a good question. Yep.
we joke about it, but we've had people say, oh, I use the water and I make my own simple syrup, and it's another application for kale.
Benefits of pure cane sugar. You should Google it. You won't even believe it. It's amazing.
Good, any other questions? Best for last, I'm just saying. Huh?